Get huge savings all summer long with the Buy Here, Sell Here program at the Team Automotive Group. Sell your vehicle to us and we'll pay you top value. Or buy here and get a 90-day warranty on the purchase of a pre-owned vehicle. Get Team VIP service at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
That would be concerning and maybe set a precedent moving forward.
If you have plans to be outside, you might hit a couple of these little passing showers.
A drug bust and a few arrests made. Look at what they hauled in here.
Well, good morning. It is Tuesday morning, September 5th, and it is 7:03 Central Time. Thanks for joining us here as you kind of kick off your work and school week. Got a shortened week, so look, we're over the Monday hump. We just got to get through it. And as you wake up on this Tuesday, just know we are looking at a beautiful sunrise here from our Sky 9 camera in Port Allen. Look, Jared told us rain and showers were in storm yesterday. We could see some of that today. It's all about who's going to get that rain and how much. Hey, Jared.
Hey Liz, and getting a live look over here. Doesn't the sun look kind of big, like even bigger than normal, like taking up the whole city? Looks like it's about to crush us, and hopefully that doesn't mean it's going to be even hotter today. Mid-90s, not bad, but we could be trending in the wrong direction over the next couple of days. 78 feels like 81 out your door right now, and we're seeing a mixture of sun and clouds. Yesterday getting up to 96. Today probably going to do the same. This is where we should be this time of year, 91 degrees. We've been a far cry from that, and for the third consecutive day, BTR Airport actually getting some measurable rain. Not much, but we'll definitely take what we can get. So again, trending in the wrong direction in the short term. In the longer term, though, at the end of this 5-day forecast, we start to see the heat go back down, and hopefully that's going to continue. We'll show you that in the 10-day forecast. The radar, relatively quiet. We've got a couple of streamer showers making their way in, mainly to the south of the I-10 corridor. And then what we're waiting for in the longer range is the next front. Now, this front is expected for this upcoming weekend. Now, this isn't that significant late September game-changing cold front. It's not that. What this is a weak cool front that'll slide on by probably Saturday, late Saturday into Sunday morning time frame. That's going to pull down dry, stable air from the north, and what that should do is drop the dew points, which in turn will drop the overnight temperatures. That'll help out in the long range. As for today, only about a 30% chance, so I would say you could take or leave the umbrella. Probably going to be okay either way. Between 3 p.m., 4 p.m., that's probably the peak time, the peak opportunity to get a couple of those non-severe thunderstorms. Whatever we get in the next 48 hours, going to be light, going to be brief, and a big part of the viewing area won't even get wet. There you see the graph model is the aggressor, the outlier, and of course I'm not expecting quite that much. 30% in the afternoon, we'll call it a high of 96. Otherwise, more sun than clouds. Then for the overnight forecast, we'll start to cool things down, but hopefully we'll be looking better. For the tropical Atlantic, it doesn't look that busy. We've gotten rid of a couple of names. Now we're left with these two waves. This one right here, Invest 95L, has a 100% chance of tropical development, so very likely it will become Tropical Storm Lee, maybe even later on today. There's a look at where we are right now, knocking on the door of September 10th, but we are in the thick of peak hurricane season. After September 10th, you start to see that decline, and by the time we get into October here, we can finally breathe a sigh of relief as far as the hurricane season. Kiddos off to the school bus stop, 77, mainly sunny and dry in the morning. In the afternoon, 95. Scattered rain and only about a 30% chance. So again, I don't think you need to take the umbrella with you. Then for tonight, we'll try to cool things down. 74 degrees, not bad for this time of year. We'll take that. And as I mentioned, we heat up to start the 10-day, knocking on the door of 100. We don't want to see any more of those. We've already had plenty. And then at the very end, the back end of the 10-day, will start to drop about a degree per day. And hopefully that's the beginning of a much bigger cool down trend. Time now, 7:06. Johnny A's got to look at your roads.
Good morning, Jared. Thank you, sir. Good morning, everybody. Glad you're with us on WAFB Plus, and we're definitely starting to see slower traffic coming in from Denham right past Jubin. As you get to Pete's Highway, it really slows down to pretty much stop and go until you get past the range on-ramp, and then it thins out a little bit, medium to medium slow traffic into East Baton Rouge Parish. A couple of quick camera shots. There's that bumper-to-bumper traffic between O'Neill Lane, back up here, and the Millerville Road overpass, which is right there. And then right near Essen Lane, you start to slow down again. That's the Essen overpass right here on I-12, and that right lane past Essen really backs up as you get up onto the to the exit that takes you over to I-10. So inbound from Gonzales, you're fine. Here's a 20-minute ride inbound from Jubin to the 1012 this morning. Another 3 or 4, and you're in the downtown area. Bridge traffic pretty light this morning as you make your way into and out of Baton Rouge on the I-10 bridge between Baton Rouge and Port Allen. 7 minutes after 7 o'clock. Back to Studio B. Matt Williams is off today. Here again is Liz Coe.
And Johnny, we sure do miss him, but he is coming back. In the meantime, we're tracking a number of headlines internationally, nationally. So let's start right here. Keeping our eyes on Congress in the nation's capital because senators are set to start returning. Committee meetings are expect to go back Wednesday. That's tomorrow. They've got a lot to tackle here. The fiscal budget, you remember? Well, that is going to expire on September 30th. You'll remember back in June, Biden and McCarthy agreeing to somewhat of a fiscal deal here as we avoid a government shutdown. Can that continue as that month goes on throughout September? They've just got 11 days to work on that. So we're going to keep our eyes on all the things happening in the U.S. Capitol, and we're going to let you know throughout the week exactly what comes out of these deals and talks and negotiations. Also keeping our eyes on things happening in the state. Did you see this? Flooding in the New Orleans area on Monday afternoon. Some of this flash flooding just catching people off guard. So we saw some of those showers in our part of the world yesterday, but in our viewing area, we didn't see any of that flash flooding. But New Orleans, you've got some of the areas like Lakeview, Mid-City, the Navarre neighborhood. All of those areas just saw so much rain come down in just a few short hours of time here. Interstate disrupted there. You may have seen that coming out yesterday as we were focusing our eyes in New Orleans. The I-10 exit there in Metairie impacted by it. The problem in these areas is that drainage is so slow to go, right? So I believe that we reference half an inch of rain can only be drained within a half hour's time, and then that just increases as more time goes on. So a lot of folks ended up getting their vehicles trapped under waters, under canals, or under bridges in some parts of the area, like Canal Boulevard we showed you earlier on. I mean, not a pretty picture when you're talking about getting around, maybe getting home from work on a Monday afternoon. So we're keeping our eyes still in the New Orleans area to see what's kind of left over of this mess that came upon the Big Easy on Monday. Bringing you back to our part of the world. This story is pretty crazy. Surveillance video actually shows a man stealing a bike from a local priest. So we showed you this video this morning, and if you look in the story, you can watch it for yourself. Father Michael Alelo of St. Thomas More Catholic Church, well, he tells us he was actually inside of his house. His garage door was open, and then when he got out of the home, he noticed his bike missing. Well, it turns out it was caught on camera. Does this man look familiar to you? Well, if he does, he sure would like to know where he's been and most importantly, where his bike is. Father Alelo says that bike that he uses is for triathlon. So if you happen to spot it, we've got a photo of that in this story. We've got a photo of the picture of the man who stole this here. So please go ahead and return it. That's just the right thing to do, right? So you can check that story out on the 9 News app. We've also got an update out of West Baton Rouge Parish. We now know this morning that the suspect, the gunman involved here in the West Baton Rouge story between Port Allen High and Bruley High, now behind bars here. This is Jerriton Jackson II. Of course, he's charged with second-degree murder and attempted second-degree murder. And so what happens next? Well, the investigation is still ongoing, but today is actually a really big day for West Baton Rouge students because they're going back to school today since the traumatic incidents that happened Friday night at the game. So West Baton Rouge school leaders took the weekend to kind of come up with a plan to figure out how to make campuses, how to make events safer for all of its schools moving forward. So at future games, you're going to see some scanners, some increased police presence, some other ways to make sure that students and staff are safe. The goal here is to make sure something like that never happens again, especially at an event with so many people there, so many families. So today, at Port Allen High School and Bruley High School, you're going to see increased police presence on both campuses. And if you'd like to find out some more information about what else the school district is offering in terms of support, well, we actually have a link to some of the resources that they have. They've actually compiled a helpful crisis response, meaning mental health resources, therapists, counselors, to make sure students can process this. Because remember, this only happened on Friday, and it's kind of tough to process all of this knowing that you're going back to school, and for Bruley High School, in one case, with one less student. So keep that in mind. There are resources available that West Baton Rouge Parish school leaders are offering to families in East Baton Rouge and even in West Baton Rouge as well. Speaking of school and keeping on the topic of it, Callie's been covering this here, an ADHD medication shortage. 1 year ago, the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, said that there was a shortage of Adderall medication. Well, 1 year later, and that's still the case. So Callie actually spoke with the local doctor, talking about how parents and their children can cope as they kind of figure out a game plan moving forward in the best ways to medicate the child, if that's the case, or to find some alternative medications. If you'd like to read the details on that, you can go to Callie's story where she kind of lists all that helpful information to get get you through and to really help your student throughout the school year. We also want to let you know about this. A big heads up, the Labor Day weekend was a busy one for so many, but especially our local animal shelter. Companion Animal Alliance took in about 47 different pets. Now they say they just want them claimed, right? They believe that all of these pets are actually from loving homes, and they sure would like people to come claim them. So they have an album, and we actually have that embedded in this story where you can look through it and find some of these pictures and some of these pets that may be missing from your neighbor or your family. Go ahead and look through it, and they're saying you can come on down to the shelter and claim them. Guys, this is really important when you talk about reuniting pets and their owners. A lot of people just don't know where their pets go, but if they're scanned, this can be a really huge help.
I wonder why Labor Day weekend had so many. That's a little odd, isn't it?
I guess it's a good time to do that kind of thing, maybe.
Well, I mean,
I
you
think
know,
a lot of families are outside.
Well,
You know.
yeah, you may be right, but I mean, thinking like, 4th of July or New Year's Eve, they run away with the loud popping of the fireworks,
Right.
but not Labor Day. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see if all these pets get reunited.
Hope some of them
Yeah.
have chips that you can scan and find the owner.
That is the goal. That's the goal. Jared, how are we looking right now at 7:13?
Yeah, we're looking nice and quiet so far. We'd like to get a better chance of rain, but it looks like we're going to be really limited over the next few days. We're going to heat things up. We're trying to avoid 100, and then hopefully at the back end of the 10-day, we'll start to cool down. That takes us in the middle of September, so it's got to happen. At some point, the heat has to go away. It has to happen.
You sure hope so. Johnny, how's the drive on this Tuesday?
Well, you can see in the bottom right square on your screen, we have a little map vehicle assisting a motorist on I-12 near Millerville. Otherwise, Denham to Baton Rouge is slower than Gonzales to Baton Rouge, and that's usually the case. Keep an eye
Yeah.
on it. Back to work, back to school today.
That's it. Keep in mind, it is a shortened week, guys. We've made it over the Monday. It's just Tuesday through Friday, and we're already halfway there, right? Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it. Stay with us, folks. We'll see you in about 10 minutes with another update on your news, weather, and traffic headlines. In the meantime, you see both of those pictures on the bottom, the forecast and the traffic picture. You can get all of that in the WAFB weather app and the 9 News app. Remember, Johnny gives you access to his 200+ DOTD cameras where you can get traffic in real time. In the meantime, we'll give you a real-time update in 10 minutes.
Yes, they're all.
Get yourself summer ready with the award-winning lineup of Hondas at Team Honda. We'll help you find just the right vehicle to hit the road to whatever destination awaits you. Come shop the most awarded brand in Car and Driver's 10 Best history at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Siegen Lane.